Hi, everybody. We are coming into the third video here with Christy Norwood and Monica Guthrie Purchase, and they're talking here about a lot of the things that came out of the project and how it's supporting ongoing efforts. But one of my favorite things about this part of the story is how being open and transparent and talking about not just what was being collected, but why, led to a lot of people who might have otherwise just seen this as a burden, coming around to the idea that data can be a tool and it can be useful for them, and that there can be a lot of advantages to using data in the right way.
The transition from paper to a computer system was challenging. It wasn't impossibly challenging, but there were a lot of steps that were involved in that. One of the things that made it more manageable is being able to talk that through with our team, to think about how do we plan to roll this out in a way that it can be successful and sustainable. So we did an introduction to education coordinators and to the site directors. This is what we want to do and why. We did a training where we walked them through what it would look like. We gave handouts with screenshots, like, okay, so we've walked through it, but if you still have questions, you can refer to these handouts. And then we gave a timeline for implementation that was not right now, you have to do this. It was okay. So we're going to open this up. We're going to practice this. Monica and I practiced with some older coaching information that we have from one of our Excel sheets. We practiced that input. They got a chance to practice and give feedback. And then when we rolled it out, everybody was ready. They were able to use it. One of the things in terms of our programs, how it is able to land for them is, like, just recently, we had a monitoring event for one of our programs. And we were able, somebody asked about coaching, and we were able to go right to the system and pull up this coaching data around, this is how many hours this education coordinator has coached. This is how many teachers have benefited from that coaching. These are the areas that they coached in. This is what their ongoing coaching looks like. So this is what everybody in the program is getting. Monica and I have talked, and us being able to have that data and being able then to sit with, which we've actually done, sit with individual education coordinators and go over their coaching reports. So not just the Excel sheets that showed who was coaching, but let's look at your coaching reports. Let's look at how many feedback hours you're giving in versus observation, or versus planning, or how much time is invested in helping teachers understand using data and lesson planning. We've been able to do that work, and it has translated to how to the quality of coaching that education coordinators are now able to give to teachers. And we have seen some improvement. We've seen improvement in lesson planning. When we monitor, we've seen the quality of the lesson planning improve, and we've seen improvement in interactions, but we are in the process of doing class observations now. So we are excited to see how those scores bear out, considering that we have these other points like the lesson planning, like the interactions, even things like our active supervision has increased, just teachers being aware of children in the classroom. And we do have those data points available. So we anticipate seeing some growth for our programs that have been with us and been able to be with us on this journey.
So I'll say that the data changed because it made it, I think, more not realistic, but it allowed them to own it and to hold the data that they were putting in. In addition, I think one of the major things I'll say for me is that between our coordinators, our home visitors, our teachers, is that they have started to understand what data is and its purpose, and kind of seeing that data isn't just like a checklist. It's not just about the numbers. Sometimes it's not even really necessarily about the outcomes per se, but more so that each form of data is like a drop in the ocean, right? In this ocean that we wants to be an ocean of change and excellence to reach the holy grail of the Head Start standards, right? And outcomes for children, increasing the outcomes for children, increasing the outcomes of class, of hovers, increasing family outcomes. So they've learned to understand data. Teachers are doing data dialogues with each other to understand and to process the data, which then is going to help them to plan better, which then is going to help them to implement better, which then is going to increase the outcomes, which then is going to increase the class. So learning how everything just aligns, and like a beautiful song, you got a note here, you have a note here, you have a note here, you put them together, it's a beautiful chord.